Your presence scares a lot of people. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, your presence scares a lot of people. I need somebody to drop in the comments and say they know. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say they know. Reno, what do they know? They know how powerful you are. They know how dangerous you are. They know how influential you are. They know how capable you are. They know all the things you are capable of. And they also know how intelligent you are, which means they're going to handle you a little bit differently. Yeah, they're going to be a little bit more careful with you because you are a triple, quadruple threat. All right. And so with that being said, they got to look from different angles when it comes to you. Yeah, it's not just one dimensional, one track. No. Yeah, your horizons are expanded. You're multi-talented. You're diversified, if you will. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? You know, and so when it comes to your presence, yeah, this is how you work an entire room. Yeah, it's your demeanor. It's how when people ain't paying attention, they be sleeping in the room. You know, ain't nobody came up on stage or ain't nobody walked inside the room who had that glow about themselves to where whenever you walk in, it's like a light switch. People start waking up. You know, people start talking, people start looking, heads start going up, eyes start going left to right. Yeah, that's the effect that you have. Your presence scares a lot of people. See, when it comes to a person who have this presence, it don't matter about their materialistic possessions. Don't nobody care about a Lamborghini. Nobody cares about $10 million. Nobody cares about, he on TV with Denzel Washington. And, you know, no disrespect to Denzel Washington because he's a GOAT, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is it ain't about your status. It's not about your money. It's not about your cars. It's about the things that God placed on the inside of you that money can't buy. Say it with me, y'all. I got all the things that money can't buy. It's in you and not on you. Let's go right back to the old videos, y'all. Don't forget when I said that. It's in you and it's not on you. You take a person who have $10 million, right? And by the way, y'all, I'm not saying that money is not important because it's very important, okay? You need money to live, thrive, travel, eat what you want. I mean, basically have freedom, right? Don't get this twisted. You need money, okay? I know it's going to be some jumbo in the comments talking about, Reno, you need money. I get that, all right? But what I'm saying is, y'all, is that it's not all about your money, all right? But anyway, you take a person who have $10 million, you know, the best wife, the best husband, the highest occupation, the highest status, whatever the case is. If they lose all that and they get that back times 10, 20, it was never about the materialistic possessions. The materialistic possession did not make the man a woman. It was the man who made the materialistic possessions. Why? Because they had ambition. Why? Because they had aspiration. Why? Because they had conviction. Why? Because they had a vision. Why? Because they had love or passion for whatever it was that they were doing. A work ethic, right? You know, understand what I'm saying, y'all. It's all the things that money cannot buy. And so when I say your presence, I'm talking about that, not what you have. All right. This is why they don't have nothing on you. Okay. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. You don't have nothing on me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say you don't have nothing on me. And that's real, y'all. But family, we going to go ahead and get directly into this video, another banger, all right? We coming back with a second video, okay? We was at the park with it earlier today, and I said, man, I got to do another one for the fam. And y'all, as y'all can see, it's getting dark extremely early. Here in Atlanta, I don't know where you at, but here in Atlanta, it's getting dark around like 6 o'clock. So it kind of be seeming like I'm getting the video done a little later, but really I'm not, right? But anyway, y'all, that's what that is. I hope y'all had a great day, a marvelous day, all right? Because your boy had a delightful one. And I just want to send that energy over to you and through this camera, okay? But anyway, y'all, let's get right into it. Y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. This right here is a big one, y'all. Number one, this is why your presence scares a lot of people. It demands respect. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen up to this one right here, y'all. It demands respect. All right, somebody drop in the comments and say, I demand my respect. Whenever you have the presence that demands respect, it's going to do one or two things. It's either going to attract that respect or it's going to deflect that respect. And when I say deflect, maybe you have one fool who mess it up for everybody, right? Maybe you have one fool who acts stupid, out of everybody. But then you're going to have a lot of people who do give you the respect because you're demanding it, right? And out of the people who don't want to give you the respect outside of the fool, you're going to have people who just like, you know what? I don't want to be around him. I don't want to be around her, right? That's why you have a lot of people who may ditch you, a lot of people who may ghost you, a lot of people who may see you and say and shake your hand or give you a hug or talk to you for a little bit, but after that they gone. You never see them again. You know why? Because you wasn't their cup of tea. Okay? Here's the thing, y'all. You're not gonna be for everybody, and everybody won't be for you. Yeah. Let me say that louder for my chosen ones in the back. You're not going to be for everybody, and everybody won't be for you. And you have to be okay with that. Listen, you can be the nicest person in the world. You can be the best person in the world. You can give out cupcakes and donuts. All right. You can help out charity. You can do whatever it is. If a person don't like your haircut, they just don't like your haircut. If a person don't like how you talk, they just don't like how you talk, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Reno, what are you saying right now? You're going to have your crowd of people who they cool, they with it because they like you off the rip. So they like, man, whatever you're demanding, I'm with it. You ever heard of a person saying, I really didn't want the product, but I paid for it because I like them? People like doing business with people who they like. I don't care how great of an engineer someone is. I don't care how great of a videographer someone is, and the list goes on. If I don't like you, then I'm not going to respect you enough to give you my money, no matter how good your business is. I don't care. And then you got some people who say, man, you know what? I'm not finna spend my money, bro. I don't like them. I'm gonna walk away from them. Okay? So you got some people who will give you money because of how great your service is, and then you got people who won't give you anything because they just don't like you, no matter how great your service is. And that falls underneath the it demands respect category. When people demand respect, it's going to make some people like them and some people dislike them because the nerve of you to demand your respect. All right, I'm going to pick on my ladies for a second. But that's why if you see a lady who actually get a man who can lead, if you actually get a man, or if she actually get a man who's intelligent, he's not controlling, but he has standards, boundaries, rules, if you will, boundaries for himself. In other words, you can't just get over on the brother. And he has a program, not a program that you must abide by, but a program that's like, look, baby, I got structure over here, right? I have a plan for me, and I fit you into my plan. Whenever a woman sees that, she runs away from it. I don't want structure. I want an unorganized man who don't know how to lead. Therefore, I can say, I ain't going to follow you. But when you finally get it, when God finally give it to you, you run it away. Same thing with guys. You get a good woman, she's willing to cook, clean, and I want to stay off of the traditional, right? Like, cooking clean is cool, but I believe men can cook and clean. I'm one of those men who cook and clean, right? But anyway, outside of the traditional, let's just say she's educated, she got her stuff going on for herself, right? She's loyal. That's a big one. She's very pure, right? Yeah, she may have a past before you, but now that she's here, okay, she's loyal. She's only thinking about you. A man get that and mess over it, right? And then wife up, a woman or a lady who ain't that. Y'all know what she is, all right? And we ain't even got to get into that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that people run away from things that demands respect. Point blank, period. Number 2, it requires the best version of them, okay? It requires the best version of them. Family, when something requires the best version of you, it's going to do one or two things. It's going to attract you, or it's going to deflect you. It's going to pull you in, or it's going to push you away. Why is that? Because I don't know if I want to change. Yeah, I don't know if I want to grow. I don't know if I want to see myself in a different light. But you a cokehead. You do cocaine. I'm sorry about that, but I don't know if I want to see myself sober. Man, but you drink nothing but alcohol. You were drunk. I know, but I don't know if I want to see myself sober. Right? Reno, what are you saying right now? You're not going to change and grow until you want to change and grow. So anytime you got the nerve to be, requiring the best out of someone just because of your presence, they going to take that as disrespect. They may be triggered. They may be silently and low-key jealous. It may turn into envy, right? It may turn into a situation to where it can't be controlled. And now people done put hands on somebody. People done cussed one another out. Wordplay done got involved. And sometimes y'all it get physical, right? To where weapons done got drawn. Just because a person feels so uneased that you got the nerve to be requiring the best version of me. A lot of times men have this one bad. Yeah, men have this one bad. When a woman comes stepping, and I'm not even talking about her education only, right? But when a woman comes stepping like, hey, I got boundaries, I have standards, and I'm willing to submit to a man, I'm willing to follow a man's leadership, I'm willing to allow the right man to be in my life, right? The right one, okay? However, when a man see that she's requiring him to go get a job, when she's requiring him to step up your game, when she's requiring him to do what you need to do for yourself as a man, you can't be living with mom on the couch. All right. You got to take care of your kids. Yeah. You need to get your stuff together, get your trade, get your CDLs, get something. But what I want y'all to realize is that it requires him to be the best version of himself. And so guess what? He going right back down the road to Keisha. Yep. He go right back down the road to big booty Bumnisha. Yeah, he gonna go right back to her. You know why? Because he feel comfortable. He feel at ease. He feel like, well, I can let my dreads hang and swing. And that's not what you need for growth. It requires the best version of them. That's why your presence scares a lot of people. Number 3, your confidence speaks for you. All right? Your confidence speaks for you. I've said this before, y'all, but I'm going to say it again. The confident come off as cocky to the insecure, right? Let me say this once again, y'all. Louder for my chosen ones in the back. The confident comes off as cocky to the insecure. Point blank, period. This means if a person is not sure, with themselves, if a person is not sure about who they are, where they're going, if a person is not consolidated with their thoughts, beliefs, doctrines, and things like that, things of that nature, you know what happens? Whenever a person who's confident walk in the room, they got hell to pay. You know why? Because I see something in you that I don't have, and I'm going to hate you and envy you for it. Every breath you spend in the same room with me. That's why you can't be around your coworkers. They jealous of you. They envious of you because of your confidence, right? That's why you can't be around jealous and envious family members for long. They start envying the type of house you got. They start envying the type of confidence that you have to apply for a certain job. Little small things, y'all. Little small things that turn to gigantic things. But the point is, they can see your confidence and it speaks for you. You don't go into the room bragging, boasting, talking about, look at my new song. And it's crazy because you should be able to be around people who you love and those who love you mutually and say, hey man, you mind checking out my new song? Or hey, you mind checking out my new book? You should be able to do that, but to the insecure, you can't. Okay, if you got a good man, if you got a good woman, you start going to the people who are insecure around you, they're going to start trying to place their insecurity seeds in you. You don't know what he doing when he gone. You don't know what she doing when she gone. I can't be around you, man. Get away from me. Be gone. All right, somebody drop that down below in the comments, by the way. Be gone. Number 4 is going to be this right here, y'all. People can sense your authenticity, okay? People can sense your authenticity. I speak about authenticity a lot because authenticity comes with a level of uniqueness, all right? What is it about you that makes you unique? What is it about you that makes you peculiar? All right. What is it about you that makes you stand out from the rest? And I believe, to me, that is your authenticity. Okay. So when you think about artists like Michael Jackson, his whole thing was, you know, and I'm gonna sound crazy when I say that, but the hee and he kicking and come on. Ain't nobody like Michael Jackson, man. Ain't nobody like Michael Jackson. Who you know saying hee, come on. Nobody's saying it. But what I want y'all to understand is that was his own authenticity. All right, Chris Brown. Even though he is inspired by Michael Jackson, man, that brother is Chris Brown. When I see him dance, I see Chris Brown. I don't see Michael Jackson. I see the influence, but I see who he is. James Brown, right? Get up, get on up. You know, even though that was his homeboy, but they had the same swag. The point, what I'm saying is, y'all, is that they had their own sense of authenticity. What is it about you that make you authentic, if you will, right? People can sense that. And so when they know that you're being real, guess what, y'all? Here it is. They know they got to be real. Yep. They know they got to be real. And see, the true testament of gold is fire. When you are around people, you're putting them through the fire. And sometimes people don't want to be around that. That's why people don't want to be around grandmama no more. You know, grandmama keep it real. You know, people don't want to be around that real mama, that real sibling, that real, family member, that relative, that person who gonna keep it real with you. They don't want to be around them. You put me through the fire every time to see if I'm real gold yet. And most times, they're not. Number 5 is going to be this right here, y'all. You are an obvious leader, y'all. You are an obvious leader, all right? An obvious leader. And so an obvious leader is one who clearly have their own path. They clearly have clarity. They clearly know who they are, right? And they're clearly not going to follow anybody for no reason. See, an example of a good leader. A good leader also do know how to follow, all right? That's a good leader. He knows what it means to take instruction. He knows how to take leadership. He understands how to allow someone else to show him that, hey, man, I know the way. Not because I'm better than you, but because I probably have more education, experience, time in this, whatever the case is. But you have to have a certain level of humility and humbleness to allow somebody else to lead you to what we call the promised land. Okay? A person who is an obvious leader, they have this trait. Now, you take a person who is not really a leader, right? But they have the boss mentality, the manager mentality, the I'm in charge mentality. I ain't never had nothing mentality. So the moment Massa give me a position, I'm going to treat it like it's everything mentality. That's not a leader, right? Therefore, ain't nobody scared of that person. You laugh at that person. You like, all right, man, you ain't nothing but what we call it, y'all, Uncle Tom. But really, just a quick African-American history lesson, right? And this is for all races, by the way. But Uncle Tom is actually who saved the slaves, who actually helped out people who were, being mistreated, right? It was Sambo. Yeah, y'all, do your research on it. It was Sambo. But what they did was they made everybody feel like it was Uncle Tom. It ain't even February, y'all, and I'm already giving out Black History Month info. But y'all look it up. It was Sambo, not Uncle Tom. But the point of what I am saying is, going right back to it, an obvious leader knows how to take instruction. An obvious leader also know how to give instruction. So with that being said, he's not leaking or she's not lacking. He's not lacking or she's not lacking in other area. It's an obvious leader. You know where you're going. You know how to get there. You're not helping somebody else build their dreams and chase their dreams because you don't know where to go. Because I can guarantee you, if you don't know where to go, somebody else going to tell you what to do. They're going to give you a roadmap, and it won't be to your destination. It's going to be to theirs. When you are an obvious leader, they can't control you. They can't manipulate you. You a leader. If you take advice, it's because you know it's the best thing at that particular time. If you take leadership, it's because you know that you don't know nothing. That's an obvious leader. To know that, hey, right now we need to follow this brother because this brother got the keys. We need to follow this sister because she got the keys. We can go on and on about this, but when you are an obvious leader, y'all, this speaks to your presence. It speaks to your presence because it gets you far. All right, and people are afraid of leaders. You've seen the history statistics, okay? They are afraid of powerful leaders, all right? But with that being said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and conclude this video after we do this recap. So number one, it demands respect. Number two, it requires the best version of them. Number three, your confidence speaks for you. Number four, people can sense your authenticity. And number five, you are an obvious leader. All right, you are an obvious leader. Family, y'all already know how we do. Make sure you go over to the Rich Mentality Academy. Go ahead and join the membership, meet your tribe. Be sure to get you a Yes Sir t-shirt, get you a Yes Sir hoodie, if you will. It's getting cold, y'all. Be sure to book a one-on-one session with your boy. And of course, y'all, you can check out any one of those books. I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.